Alright, so let me jump right into the video. The first mistake I see a lot of students making is that they don't build up their feedback score to 100. Now, the easiest way that you can get an eBay account with a minimum of 100 feedback score is to ask around. You yourself might already have an eBay account that has a minimum of 100. The feedback that you get as a buyer counts towards the same feedback that you'll get as a seller. Double check to make sure that you don't already have an existing eBay account that you've used to buy stuff from in the past. That one might have a minimum feedback score of 500, you never know. So I would always recommend to make sure you don't already have an eBay account that you've used from years ago. If not, you can ask people in your house, ask your brother, your sister, your mum, your dad. You never know, they might have an eBay account that they don't use no more, that they've been using to buy a lot of stuff from. This is the first thing I always recommend people to do. Make sure you build your feedback score to 100. Now, if you don't already have an eBay account or know someone with an existing eBay account with a minimum of 100 feedback score on it, what I recommend my students to do is to start a new eBay account and build it up to 100. This could be done from a number of ways. This could be done by buying cheap items. I've said previously that you can buy SIM cards on eBay. I think they go for around £1, I'm not sure. You might be able to find cheaper items, digital items that don't need to be posted. There's a lot of sellers selling cheap items on eBay right now. I recommend that you just buy a lot of them. Buy the amount that you need to get to 100. This is the first mistake I see a lot of students making when they start their business on eBay. They don't get to a minimum of 100 before they start selling. I recommend a minimum of 100, but I would say even try get more if you can. If you can get to a minimum of 500, you're going to be in a better position to start selling, because every potential customer that comes to your store initially looks at your feedback score, and if you've got a low feedback score, it makes it look like you're an amateur. So try build up your feedback score. As I said previously, the feedback that you get as a buyer counts towards the same feedback that you get as a seller. So make sure you build up your feedback to a minimum of 100. If you can go a bit higher than that, I would recommend you do it. All right, so that's it for tip number 1. Let's move on to tip number 2. All right, so moving on to mistake number 2 that I see a lot of people making. They don't choose the right product to begin with. You need to make sure that you do the right research on the product that you're looking to sell before you import it, or before you start selling it, or before you buy it in bulk. Otherwise, you're going to be left with a lot of stock that you're not going to be able to sell. One mistake that I've seen a lot of people doing is that they don't check the eBay purchase history to make sure the product is selling every single day before they look at selling it themselves. And it's not just that, you also got to do a lot of research on Terapeak. If you don't already have an eBay selling account, you're going to have to pay around £20 or around $25, I believe, if you want to access Terapeak. So you have to make sure that you double check Terapeak. On Terapeak, you're able to double check the analytics. You're able to get a deeper insight into the analytics of the product that you're looking to sell. So the first thing I always recommend my students to do is double check the sell-through rate, and make sure the sell-through rate has a minimum of 50%. One tip as well that I want to give you is that you need to double check the sell-through rate month on month. So in June, it may have been 50%. In July, it may have been 30%. And in August, it may have been 20%. So you need to double check and compare it month on month to make sure that you're going to sell a product that is consistent with the sell-through rate. In a lot of my previous videos, I've already discussed exactly what the sell-through rate means. And what it means basically is that it shows you the percentage and the likelihood of you being successful in selling that product. So I always recommend people to try and find a product that has a minimum sell-through rate of at least 50%. If you can go higher, the better. Me personally, I spend my time looking for products that have a minimum sell-through rate of 70-80%. This basically means that I've got an 80% chance of being successful in selling that product. So just to conclude, the mistake that I see a lot of people making is that they don't pick the right product to begin with, they don't do the right product research, and they don't look at the analytics of the product before they look at selling it. So I'm hoping from this point you're going to be able to look at the analytics, understand exactly what you're going to need to look at. If you want a bit more information on exactly what you need to look at and a step-by-step breakdown of me searching for products on eBay, click the link in the pinned comment, because I go into a bit more details on exactly what I look for when it comes to finding a winning product on eBay. So I hope that helps. Let's move on to tip number 3. So the third mistake that I see a lot of people making is that they don't brand their store correctly. They don't make sure that they've got a custom logo, custom template, custom store template. Just make sure that you've got a well-branded store, and make sure the store is branded around the product that you're looking to sell. Make sure the company name is similar to the product that you're looking to sell, or the company name is similar to the niche or the category that you're looking to sell in. These are the things that you need to make sure that you do before you start selling to have a better chance of success. A lot of people on eBay right now don't want to buy from just random people. They want to make sure that they're buying from a proper company. And the ways that you can make yourself look like a proper company is to brand your store like how a company will brand their store. So the third mistake I see a lot of people making is that they don't brand their store correctly. They don't do things right before they look at selling their product. You need to make sure that your store is built well so that when the customer visits your store, you're more likely to convert them from a non-paying customer into a paying customer. Let's move on to the fourth mistake that I see a lot of people making. All right, so the fourth mistake that I see a lot of people making when trying to build their business on eBay is that they don't realize that they're gonna need patience. eBay is not something that you just jump right into and try to get money from straight away. You're gonna be making money in terms of importing products and then selling it, making sales, which is revenue, and then investing back in. But eBay is something that you're gonna consistently need to keep reinvesting your money until the point where you've built up an authority with that product, and you're gonna be making extra free cash flow that you'll be able to now take a salary from. It's gonna take some time to build that up. But one mistake that I see a lot of people making is that they think they can start their store straight away and within a week, 2 weeks, make money. If you follow the right steps that I've been teaching on my YouTube channel and in my course, you're definitely gonna make money on eBay, but you're gonna need to reinvest that money back into it and keep growing your inventory base. So this is something that a lot of people need to be aware of when it comes to building a business on eBay. eBay by no means is a get rich quick scheme. eBay is something that you continuously keep building, continuously keep putting your time and effort in, and then eventually you're gonna make enough that you'll be able to take a salary from. And then once you start taking a salary from it yourself, you're gonna be able to now employ people and then help you out in terms of growing, finding more products to add to your store, and just make more money. So don't think eBay is a get rich quick scheme. Understand that anything worth building is gonna take time to build. Rome wasn't built in a day. So make sure that you have this in mind and make sure your mindset is correct when it comes to building your business on eBay. Let's move on to the fifth and final mistake that I see a lot of people making. You need to make sure that if you want to sell used clothes lying around your house to make some extra money, not to sell it on the eBay account that you're building your brand on. So for example, if you've imported Bluetooth headsets from China and you want to build a company around it and you change your eBay name to the Bluetooth company, you can't now start selling the used Levi jeans that you have lying around your house on your eBay account. So any product that you see lying around your house, you need to make sure that you sell it on a separate eBay account. You can't sell it on the same eBay account that you're looking to build your brand on because it's gonna look messy. One thing that I do as a consumer is when I'm trying to buy something, I click on the seller's shop, see what other items they've got, and if they've got a pair of used Levi jeans on their store, I'm definitely not going to buy from them because they don't look like a specialist for that product. I'd rather buy from someone that only specifically sells that one product that I'm looking to get. And I hope you understand exactly what I mean about having separate eBay accounts for the used stuff lying around your house and the products that you're looking to build a business around. So that's it for the 5 mistakes that I've seen a lot of people making. All right, so there you go. Those are the 5 mistakes that I see a lot of people making. I see a lot of people, including my student and even myself, whilst I was trying to build my business from 0 to £100,000. These are the mistakes that I made myself. So if you're making these same mistakes, I hope you're going to be able to adapt and change so that you can see a little bit more success on eBay. If you found any value in the video at any point, don't forget to press the like button as it will help me out in a big, massive way. I'll really appreciate that. As I said, I'm on the road to 2,000 subscribers. So if you can go down below, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so that you can get notified every single time I release a video just like this one. You can also add me on Instagram and send me a DM if you've got any questions. I'll be more than happy to help. All right, guys, I'll see you next week. Peace.